Welcome to this webinar, which serves as preparation for the EUDIS Hackathon, which is happening 26-28 March at Unman Valley. Before we dive into the details of this hackathon, let me introduce our first speaker of today, which is Boy Dacier from the Enterprise Agency of the Netherlands, specialist and advisor in EDF funding. So we anticipate on the follow-up of already the hackathon, and then funding is crucial. So I know Boy has limited time today, but we're very glad that he's here. So Boy, if I may invite you to take the floor, share the screen, and then start the presentation. And afterwards, people or you can ask questions to Boy, and if the answer takes a little bit longer, then maybe you can write me an email and then we'll collect the answers and send it to you afterwards. Boy, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I will share my screen. So, hello everyone. My name is Boy Dacier. So I'm the national focal point for the European Defence Fund. I do this together with three other colleagues, which are Victor Hartong, Stijn Greben, and Martijn Lammers, which are always also available for questions should you want to reach out to us. So who are we? We're the Rijksdienst voor Ondernemend Nederland. In English, that's the Netherlands Enterprise Agency, which is a part of the Ministry of Economic Affairs. And our goal is to support and stimulate entrepreneurship in the Netherlands. And for the Ministry of Economic Affairs, in collaboration with Defense, we also support with the European Defence Fund. We do that with a couple of different tools, so providing information, advice, training, and also results analysis. So for today, I'm going to talk shortly about the EDF. What is the EDF? Shortly how we can help, and there's some time for a question and answers. So what is the EDF? It's a EU subsidy program for defense research and development. The needs in the program are stated by the member states. So it's top-down, which means that the member states themselves decide which topic will be in the working program and not necessarily the parties or the industry. So the budget is 7.3 billion for a period of 7 years, of which research is 2.7 billion and development 5.3 billion. Of which 4 to 8% is reserved for disruptive calls. In this, there's also a special place for SME calls, in which an SME has to be the coordinator, and also of which are already part, for example, the EUDIS and hackathons. How it works is that annually there's a work program that is being released, which is based on a multi-annual perspective. And what we see is that there's a growing interest. So in 2024, we saw 297 proposals, and 2025, we already saw 410 proposals. So it's getting bigger and bigger. So it's not the only program. There are a lot of related programs. Some of those are precursor programs, so as PODER and EDIDP. Some are more related programs. And some are accelerated programs. I think for you, the most interesting in this slide are the NATO Diana Accelerator Program and the EUDIS Business Accelerator programs, which might be a next step to take. So it might be worth to look those up, and maybe the EIC Accelerator as well. So the European Defence Fund, there's two types of call. They're the thematic calls, the categories of action, and there's the disruptive calls, the SME calls. So here you see all the big thematic calls. You see, for example, space, cyber, and sensors. These are usually calls in which a big European consortium will participate in a consortium and create a consortium for the call, with also calls that usually have a higher budget. And next to these big categories of action calls, you also have the SME calls, which are usually a little bit smaller, with less partners, maybe around 3 to, let's say, 7, with a smaller budget. But it's also more open for SMEs and smaller companies. Let me see. So the goals of the European Defence Fund, you can see them here. I'm not going to call them out all by name, but just to tell a few or highlight a few, is to contribute to the competitiveness and innovation capacity of Europe, encourage the participation for SMEs and other actors, and help reduce fragmentation. And of course, strengthen other security and defense initiatives, just to highlight a few. How it works. The working program starts with a draft. So, which means that the countries will propose topics to the Commission. The different countries will then do harmonization programs, of which a draft working program will be released. After discussion, that will result in a proposal of a working program. And then there will be a couple additional steps like administration, negotiations, and in the end, after all this discussion, there will be an EDF project. Why am I showing this? It's just so you know that before a project, there's a lot of national and international processes taking place. So what does this mean for you? It basically means that the moment that you receive a new working program with specific calls, there's already been a year before that where the nations have been working on the program to create the specific call. So you can see that in year end -1, and in year end you see the publication of a new working program, and that is basically the start for a new cycle of the year in which the calls will be published. There will be a EDF info days in Brussels, and in a certain point in the end of the year, the deadline of the EDF calls will happen. Where are we right now? Currently, we just have the EDF info days in Brussels. But my suggestion is always, if you want to participate in the European Defence Fund, always start a year before. So if you want to participate, you should start now for next year. Also keep in mind that it's quite a long process. So if you want to apply to a call, it takes at least until 1 year after the deadline of the EDF calls that you know that you have been selected and evaluated, and you can start with the program, with the project, which can last from 2 to 3 years. So keep that in mind as well. So a couple of things for the eligibility for the projects. So most important is that the consortium must at least consist of 3 independent entities from at least 3 different member states and their associated countries. For disruptive calls, that's only 2, and for development actions as well. And for research actions in the SME category, only SMEs and research organizations can be beneficiaries, and the SME has to be a coordinator. And in the direct action SME calls, only SMEs can be beneficiaries. So another eligibility category is the guarantee that you have. In order to participate in the European Defence Fund, you need to have ownership and control within the European Union or member states. Or Norway. Let me see. Should it not be the case, it's not immediately an exclusion ground for participating in the European Defence Fund. But at least in the Netherlands, it's good to contact us as fast as possible so we can look at how you can get the guarantee to still be able to participate in the European Defence Fund. But that is separate for each country. It's different. So. But keep that in mind when you want to participate in the European Defence Fund. Same goes for security aspects. There are definitely some security scrutiny in the European Defence Fund, but it also depends on the country and the project and what level the security will be needed. At least for the Netherlands, it is the case that when you get selected, someone will contact you and they will look at your project and your company, and they will tell you which classification and which screenings that you would need. For you in an early stage of your company, it's always good to keep in mind that in the future, facility and personal screenings might be needed. So you might want to keep that in mind when hiring or assigning people for the project, for European Defence Fund project. So the good thing about the European Defence Fund rate, at least for the research action, is that 100% is being funded. For the development actions, a lot is being funded as well, which can be incentivized, for example, when people add SMEs to the project. And also usually on a national level, there's also co-finance available to get the maximum funding rate possible. So here you see the SME bonuses for participating in the EDF project. So here you can see the award criteria. So if you have a project that you like and you want to participate in, these will be the categories on which you will be evaluated. So excellence, competitiveness, innovation, autonomy, cross-border cooperation. For all these categories, you can find in slides on the European Commission's what they are going to rate your project on. And when you want to participate in a project, I would suggest to really go into these slides and to see what they're going to be evaluating your project on, to also write a little bit to those needs. A good thing to keep in mind is next to the release working program, there's also a funding and tendering portal where you can find the guidance and documents button. Here you can find a more elaborate text on every call that is available. Here you will find all the information on the call, like what do you request, what is the deadline, what are the needs. So my suggestion is when you want to participate in a call, first just look in the working program. If you find something that you like, a technology or a project, go to the funding and tender portal, find the document, read it completely, and then start finding a consortium for your project. Like already said here, you can see the topic details. So I added some useful links in the slides. The slides will be sent to you after the presentation. Just some useful links where you can find a lot of interesting things when you want to apply to the European Defence Fund. So a couple of short tips for participating in the EDF. I would suggest to connect with experienced, of course, I'm from the Netherlands, partners or consortiums. We see that it's quite hard for new people to start within the EDF and definitely in the thematic bigger calls. So it's always a good thing to reach out to experienced partners. It's not impossible to start something on your own, but we definitely see that this is usually the best way to start. Furthermore, start early with getting into the network. Getting into a project can be a process of a couple of years in which you first start, for example, in the Diana or in EUDIS, and slowly you go into the European Defence Fund. So when you are ready for European Defence Fund, you actually should already be a little bit in the network. So, for example, if you want to participate in 2027, then this is the year you should start going to the info days. You should start reading the working programs and getting familiar to the European Defence Fund. In addition to that, we always suggest that you show up at physical events. It's just way better to meet the people in person and who know you might find on those events. Maybe you can be invited to a consortium. And also just find possibilities for your company. For example, maybe you can participate in spin-in or spin-in calls and hackathons like you're already doing. Maybe you have a dual-use technology which you can use, for example, in other programs such as Diana. Or maybe you can even get a direct defense contract. From our experience, this always is good when you have these things and you're in the defense network. Getting into the European Defence Fund is also an easier task than when you have to start from completely nothing. Also be prepared for long-term investment. I already showed you a slide just now which showed that basically when you want to start with the program, it takes at least a year until you submit your proposal, or about a year, and then it takes about a year for your proposal to be evaluated, and then the project will last for 2 to 4 years. So it is a long-term investment. The good thing of this investment is that the moment you're in the European Defence Fund and the defense industry network, quite often you see that you get recurring projects, or people know how to find you. At least for the Netherlands, it's also important to contact defense early on in the process, this to get support. This is both for the research and development calls. For development calls, it's a little bit more important because the support is needed. For the research calls, it's more on an in-kind level, so they might help you with fine-tuning your project to the needs of defense. And the last thing is just to remember to provide the solutions to problems stated in the work program. That's the goal of the European Commission. So try not to solve your own problem, but try to solve their problem. And that is the best way to get funded. So how can we help? Well, we communicate, of course, about the European Defence Fund, but we also have advisory meetings where we can just advise on the European Defence Fund in many different ways. We provide info days and webinars. We organize innovation missions. We can also help with partner search and matchmaking. Usually we request for the company to send us a one-pager, which we can send to relevant consortium partners. We can also help with proposal and proofreading, and we can provide financial and legal advice. So this was my short presentation of the European Defence Fund. So should you have any questions, you can contact one of us, and you can also ask a couple of questions now. And with that, I will stop sharing my screen. And
Boy, thanks very much for your presentation and elaboration on the EDF. Are there some questions from the audience, from the participants? Don't be shy. Maybe about ERL levels which are required, or anything about your company or about your interests? Feel free to open up your microphone and start asking. If no question from the audience, I've got a question.
Yeah.
Oh, is someone raising his hand? No. No. All right. Yeah. Boy, you mentioned the support of defense. I know for some programs there's this in Dutch the stoplichtenlijst. Is it relevant for EDF as well? So to link to the right priorities of the Dutch defense to get support for EDF?
Yeah, it's also for the EDF, it's very important, especially for, well, only for the development calls. So for the research calls, in principle, all the calls are being supported by defense. But the development calls, defense every year puts out a list in which they communicate which calls will be supported. What does that mean? Well, it kind of means that only the calls that defense put on the green list will be supported, and it's only possible to join those in the European Defence Fund. I do have to make a remark that it's not completely impossible to join a project that is not on the list, but then you're really dependent on international partners to get support from defense, which makes it really hard because in general, they will always ask the participant to show up in a consortium with the support of defense. So in general, you need to support on the green list from the defense in the to join a development call. Next to that, it's not only the green list, which would be okay, but there's also a deadline in which you have to submit your proposal to defense, and they will decide if your proposal is going to be supported this year, or maybe there's another consortium that will get their support. In this, it's also important to just reach out to defense as soon as possible, so they are aware that you are a proposal, that you're working on a proposal.
And then reach out to defense is to the mine bases or to commit, or is there a special email address?
There's a special email, so edf@mindef.nl, and if you cannot find it, you can also reach out to us, so to RVO, for example, for me, boy.dacier@rvo.nl, and we can transfer you further. There's also an EDF website with all the emails and also all the deadlines where you can also find all the information.
Thanks. Then we have a question from Ruben. Ruben, is the Wi-Fi being restored? I will read it. Just go ahead. You can ask yourself.
Kijk. Hi, good afternoon. My mic is holding up this time. But I was wondering, first of all, thank you for your presentation. It made a lot more clear and about the whole project related stuff for the EDF fund. I was wondering, you said it's available to show up at like hackathons and spinnings and things like that. Is there maybe like a centralized place for that we can like keep an eye on all these all these upcoming events, or do we have like a few different things we need to monitor?
No, there's not really a centralized place for it. What we do have, we have a list. What I'm hearing, Echo, can you turn off your mic, please?
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah. So what we do have, we have an email list where we send out newsletters every few months or every time there's an important update, in which we will communicate all the deadlines, all the events, all the hackathons in the mail. So if you subscribe to the Interesselijst, the newsletter, basically you will keep up to date to all these related programs. So that's the best step at the moment to take. And in the mail there will always be the link to the right website or the right program. I can send the link to together with the slides, so you will have it.
Perfect.
I can distribute. Yeah. As an addition from our side, on our webpage groundstation.space, we have an event calendar, and there we promote space events, but also other events relevant for technology development, which include also hackathons and this kinds of activities. So it's also something you could check. Okay, thanks for your question. One more. Is there anyone else who wants to ask Boy something? If not, then I expect all is clear. So, Boy, the 459 proposals will go up after this meeting, I guess. Next year. If you could share the slides with me, then I will distribute them to the participants and anyone who registered. This session has been recorded, so you can also view it later again. In the case of any questions, feel free to reach out to Boy directly or to one of his colleagues. So, Boy, thanks again for your participation.
Yeah, thank you very much, and good luck. And feel free to reach out.
Okay, very good. Thanks a lot. All right, bye-bye. Okay, then we quickly move on with the hackathon. I will start sharing my screen and put it in presenter mode. If the system works. 1 second. Yes. Okay. So in this webinar, you can also ask some last questions for the hackathon, which is coming up end of the month. So this is the agenda, but you already had the pitch of Boy. So quickly about the hackathon and the partnership we are in. If you have any questions, feel free to speak during the presentation. So so it's a consortium, multi-stakeholder consortium run by dotSPACE, which is my organization, and then in collaboration with many parties. Of course, the Ministry of Defense, but also large research technology institutions like TNO, NLR, regional development agencies. Also, the space cluster is involved. The drone cluster, Unmanned Valley, that's also the venue for this hackathon. Universities are involved, AI Coalition, and also some regional stakeholders, and industry is also involved. So I think it's a nice, all these organizations will be represented during the hackathon or afterwards. So we have 3 challenges. You can read them all on the EUDIS website and on the TICAI page. Cost-effective drone interceptors, next-generation drone detection systems, and the 3rd challenge, it's a local challenge, specifically for the Netherlands in this respect. And this focuses more on the human-machine interaction. It can and the social component. So it can be the impact of drones and drone interceptors and so on society, but it can also address the questions about how to operate a swarm of drones by just one pilot. So it's a bit of it's a rather widely defined challenge, and all, of course, is to increase and to stimulate technology development, which can be beneficial for Ukraine settings. So where does the hackathon take place? The venue is Unmanned Valley, which is the former Marine Air Base. It's in Valkenburg, so it definitely you can go there by public transport or bring your car. There's parking space enough. So Unmanned Valley is a field lab, and we have plenty of space to test indoor and outdoor drone activities. And the site will be open from 8 o'clock in the morning till 11 in the evening. So what is available? There is a makerspace available with some tools. I advise you to bring your own stuff if you don't want to wait or share, which might be handy because you have limited time to further develop your prototype. Of course, we have some slots arranged. For Friday, we have indoor and outdoor flying. Friday is indoor from 12:30 to 4:30, outdoor from 10:30 to 4:30. And on the Saturday, just before the pitching takes place, there's also some opportunity to fly. If you have a license to fly your own, all drones need to be checked by the pilot who is there on behalf of Unmanned Valley, which can support you in operating the drone. But if you have your own drone, then feel free to bring it, of course, including your license and insurance policy. And then Walter, he can do the final check. And then if it's okay, you can fly an indoor or no, outdoor and indoor drone use is of course free of these regulations. Then we have indoor test facilities. You see some images of the hangar. I don't know if you have already seen this earlier. There we will have some kind of a similar track like you see on the images. And there can be just a drone racing, of course, drone testing. We have some target drones available to challenge your interception solutions, which you will definitely develop during the weekend or during the 3 days. And feel free to use this as your own playground for the validation of your MVPs. Of course, we have mentors available. As I said earlier, mentors are from the Ministry of Defense, from the MIND basis. MIND stands for Military Innovation by Doing. So these are the innovation offices of defense. One is in Delft, but also we have the MIND base from Amsterdam involved. Then we have TNO and NLR, which deliver some experts. Also the AI Coalition, as said. Then we have 2 professors from the Eindhoven University about signal technologies. Many people from defense are around. So it's not only good for getting their knowledge about technical solutions or issues, but it's also very good for networking and to, hopefully you will be allowed in EDF programs or maybe in the science and technology programs, which are direct calls from the Ministry of Defense. To stimulate you a bit more, we have some award money made available. For the winner, 7,000 euros, second place, 3,000 euros, and there's an Innovation Valley category, which most likely will be assigned by the jury for innovative ideas, which might not necessarily have the TRL 4 or 5 level already. Afterwards, TNO, NLR, and VDL will provide support, and every winning team is invited to the head office of VDL, so you get an assessment from their innovation team, and maybe some follow-up collaboration could be organized. Then we have a jury, of course. It's chaired by the senior project manager from defense. Especially, he has experience in counter drone technology. Then we have representatives from NLR, TNO, from industry, it's OPNET, and we have investment firms already also in the jury. It's the SEC fund is represented, and also Tenzing Alpha. And Tenzing Alpha is a bit more early stage investor and has a good working relationship with the SEC fund. So this I told you. Oh no, we have arranged 30 beds, or 24 beds. Sorry, in a nearby. It's a hostel hotel. If you want to stay over, especially for participants who come from outside the Netherlands, please let me know and send an email to hackathons@groundstation.space. And for the rest, everything you need to bring is your technology and your team, and we do the rest. So if you have any dietary preferences, let me know. Then we can facilitate this. Then to inspire you a bit, before the hackathon starts, we will organize a drone assembly workshop in collaboration with Drone Aid Collective. We can offer 8 to 10 seats to assemble the FPV drones. And if you don't participate in the hackathon and you definitely want to join this workshop, if you sponsor Drone Aid Collective for €400, then you can assemble your own drone. If you're interested, please send an email to hackathons@groundstation.space. So this is all I had to share about the hackathon. If you have any questions regarding participating, team formation, then let me know. If you don't have a team yet and you want to do a pitch right now, then this is your moment of glory. So don't be hesitant and see if in all the participants you can find a link. And otherwise, we can do the last minute team formation right at the start of the hackathon. But it's always, I think, easier if you already have a team and you can prepare a bit. So now I will shut up and open the floor to you for your questions, remarks, and call for teams or participants. So the floor is yours. Feel free to take the floor. Clear for me? Good. Then see you around. We're looking for team member for challenge 2. Fout. Is there anyone in challenge 2 by heart? That's the interception, right? Of drones.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, clear.
Yes. So yeah, for challenge 2 about the drone detection, we have
Question, sorry. Yeah.
so we got a rough idea. Since it's detection, we're thinking more along the lines of AI solutions for that. Because at the moment in Ukraine, they are deploying like AI to find out or to detect Russian drones. So we're thinking something along those lines. And maybe adds a layer for like the weather or the terrain to distinguish ourselves or to make it more innovative. That's the rough idea we have in mind. Maybe we add a little hardware component. We're still unsure at the moment, but yeah, we're open to having members in our team.
Okay. And specifically for here's I see in the chat.
Yes.
I see someone's having Abdarazak, 22 years old from Italy. I'll be attending hackathon in the Netherlands. I've an idea about involving AI-powered drone reconnaissance. Right now, I'm on a team with Fout. So he's already in your team, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, good. Is there any specific knowledge area or domain of expertise you're looking for? You mentioned AI, but maybe also sensor data or sensors as such.
Uh, yeah, I'm not good with hardware. So if someone is good with communication signals hardware, then yes, you are more than welcome to join our hopefully winning team.
Hey, hello.
I've got. Go ahead.
I have experience with hardware and would love to join your team.
Okay. Okay, then yeah, we got a deal.
Yeah, okay, nice.
Good. Yeah, if you then could organize this in the Taikai platform, so
Sorry.
then that would be great. Then there's also the Discord channel. Don't know if you all are on Discord. So that's also, I think, a nice environment to find team members.
Yes, sir. I have another question, if I may.
Sure.
So the contest, yeah, advises for a product at the end that is around TRL of 4 to 5. So my question is, do you provide some data sets that we can work with, or is it really on our own?
No, it's on your own, but if you tell me what kind of data sets you require, then maybe I can find out.
So probably like some classified data set about Russian drones or how they're being detected. So either images or signals or however they detect them in Ukraine or in modern warfare. So probably classified.
Yeah, well, it's in the name, classified.
Mhm.
So no, I cannot provide this.
Okay.
Maybe I can. Is it about drone detection or is it also about, for example, vehicle detection, land vehicles?
Mainly drone detection, but whatever you got, I think we'll take it.
Okay, let me see if I can, because maybe we have some synthetic data. Okay, let me see what I can. At least I can turn to someone and ask a question, and definitely take no for an answer. Okay, vote, and you're on Taikai and on Discord, eh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Then I will reach out to you via one of those two platforms if I have an answer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other topics to discuss or to which I need to explain? Um, okay. Did every one of you already register for the hackathon, or are there some participants now who are still considering? Yeah, Ruben.
Hi, so thank you. So I was wondering, for the schedule of the hackathon, it's so starting on Thursday and then it's Thursday and Friday. And how long is the program on Saturday? Like, is it during until the evening, or do we have like a strict schedule?
It's the program on Saturday is officially until a bit past, let's say, 4:45 or something. And after that, it's more like informal. We have some kind of a closing drink and snack. But at 4:30, the winner from the Netherlands will be announced, and this will be done in a hybrid session. So because it happens simultaneously at 8 locations throughout Europe. So numbers 3 and 2 will be announced locally, and then at 4:30, we're scheduled to present the winner. So I can understand that some other obligations are there. At least secure that 2 team members are on site. But if you are in the winning team, it would be nice, of course, to be around.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, good. Anyone else? Let me see. No questions in the chat. So yeah, if questions, remarks pop up after the webinar, feel free to contact me via Discord, Taikai, or any other platform, email, and then I can sort it out and try to answer your question. So that's all from my side. If everything is clear, then let's close the webinar and then see you all around in Valkenburg at Unman Valley at the 26th of March. So thanks for joining right now and looking forward to meet you all in person. All right, bye-bye.